Most people like to think that salmon comes from scenes like this, but the reality is because of fish numbers it just can't. But is farmed salmon a good alternative? I've been lucky enough to be invited by Wester Ross Salmon to see their salmon farms out at sea.
Bigger spread on the pellet, Alex.
Come with me on this exciting journey as I see how Wester Ross Salmon look after the fish and the environment around them. With their forward thinking and clean ways of working, I hope that this is a step in the right direction. I've been doing a Scottish tour. So if you haven't seen the other videos, there's a video about grouse, about a stag, about a whiskey distillery. It's all been happening. But today is the last day of the tour and I'm off to Ullapool, and I've travelled over from the sort of the northeast coast over, which is about an hour and a half, and I'm going to see Wester Ross Salmon. Now this came about because when I went to Wales, which hopefully you've seen that video when I stayed over in Pembrokeshire, I went to see the smoke shed whales and they use the salmon from Wester Ross, so they kindly made an introduction for me. Now, it is farm, it's an offshore salmon farm. I am not an expert on the matter. I have heard a lot of bad things about farmed salmon. Like most things, I want to sort of see it and find out for myself, as opposed to just, you know, believe what you see and read. You may have some pretty strong opinions on this, drop them in the comments below. So I'm driving along and I've just seen a guy out on the river fishing, so I'm going to see if I can get a better angle. There he is, down there. There you go, a real Scottish, well, we don't know he's Scottish, but proper salmon fishing, done wild in a river. That bloke must be absolutely loving life. So I've just wandered to a house and seen a guy, and he's let me in the back garden, so have a look at this. I'm even closer. What a sight. What an absolute treat. Love it on salmon day as well. Yes! So I hope to see that, but I didn't think I would. So wild salmon and farmed salmon. So I've stopped again just to look at that view, and it is absolutely spectacular. The colour of the water is unreal. Just look at that upstream as well. So beautiful. So I don't know enough about salmon and their numbers and things like that, but I think I'm right in saying that, I mean, at the moment I don't think that you can fish the rivers and pull them out unless they're over a certain size or something like that. So I know there's a massive shortage anyway, which obviously then creates a need to farm it, which is why I guess Wester Ross is doing what it's doing just to keep up with the demand. There's a lot of people who love salmon, smoked salmon, including me, but there's just not enough fish. So what are the options? That is a beautiful, beautiful animal. That's how they should live, out in fields with views like that. So I've randomly stopped, and a lady has sort of come off the road into, I don't know if you can sort of see, into one of these ditches, and they're deeper than they look, and she got stuck. So I helped her out. So that's a good deed done, isn't it? So I'm nearly there. I think it's about another 5 minutes or so.
So here we are at Wester Ross Fisheries. We're at Ardmere Sea Farm, and I was just pointing out Benmore Koyak standing guard over the operation. We've got the farm situated underneath our Martin, protected from the southeasterly prevailing winds here. At this farm we're growing fish from 1.5 kilos up to production size of 5 kilos, and that takes us about 12 months. This is a really good visit for Alex, I think, because we've got the River Canyard flowing out really adjacent to the salmon farm. All the wild sea trout and salmon going up the River Canyard have to swim past our farm. We're extremely proud of the sea lice control that we've got in keeping this environment pristine and protecting the environment. I gather Alex has tasted Wester Ross salmon. We look forward to Alex's visit out on the farm today. Yeah, Jordan is our youngest boat driver at 22. He's taken his powerboat qualification to enable him to carry crew backwards and forwards from the farm to the shore base, and we put our trust in him. This is the pen net that holds the fish in. This net is suspended out the water. There are no fish in this pen. This is the bird net that keeps the birds off the fish from the top. And this is the anti-predator net that protects the pen net from seals. These pens are 50 metres square. They're 12 metres deep, and you've got about 6,000 fish in each pen. Wester Ross Salmon produces 1,500 tonnes a year, which go all over the world. And you can see fish exhibiting normal salmon behaviour. They're leaping for pleasure, they're shoaling. If we could see in, they're shoaling. We have a nursery site where the 50-gram smolt arrives, and we grow that smolt up to about 1.5 kilos, and then we move the fish from that nursery site to what we call a grow out site, and these fish starting at 1.5 kilos will be taken on up to about 5 kilos. Believe it or not, Alex, that wrasse feed that Carl's holding, £8,000 a tonne. So we give the wrasse their own bespoke diet, and the beauty about this is that once the wrasse have finished the block, this yellow float slides up and up the thing and lets the farmers know to replace it. This is how we catch the wrasse, not only in the wild, this is how we catch them in the wild. We bait with green crab, the wrasse swim into the creel, and then we empty it every day. But if we want to recatch the wrasse, because we're doing a treatment, then this is what we can use. They're actually quite easy to catch. Wester Ross fish get a bespoke diet. It's largely produced from white fish trimmings. Okay, fins, heads, backbones, destined for the human food industry. But because we take them and process them into our salmon food, they don't count as wild fish caught at sea. So therefore our fish in, fish out ratio is less than 1. We are a net producer of fish. We're not using as many wild caught fish in our salmon food. We employ about 30 people to look after the fish. They're split between our 3 farms, and we actually need a higher proportion of staff than the rest of the industry, and that's because we haven't gone down the fully automated or mechanized route. So we are relying on our guys to observe the fish, look after the fish. When we handle the fish, we need these people, and that is an extra expense to Wester Ross that ends up producing such a quality product. Everything they need is in this pellet. Whitefish trimmings, there'll be some fish oil in it added, and there'll be some vegetable protein, almost certainly English peas or beans. Do you want to try it?
What?
Do you want to taste it?
Are you serious?
I think you'll spit it out, but
And that's all right to
I think this is off camera. I mean,
it's off camera?
it's just for you, this is, yeah.
I mean, this is a special moment.
I mean, you've expressed an interest, so... Right, you need to get a spread on it,
Yeah.
but keep it within the pen. Bigger spread on the pellet, Alex. That's better. Give it a bit of a flick in the wrist action. How we clean our nets at Wester Ross: we move the fish from pen to pen. When the pen's empty, we lift the net into the air and we let the UV light, sun, wind and rain clean the net. Usually takes about a week to 2 weeks. We end up with the net totally clean. We then drop it and move the fish from one pen into the new pen. So we don't use any antifoulants on our nets, we don't use any chemical treatment on the net at all. It's an entirely natural process. That's important to us so we get the oxygen transfer with the tides and the currents through to the fish. We want a clean net. Yeah, okay mate, go alongside. Yeah, go on. This is Alchemy, our wrasse catching boat. The guys have just been out emptying creels, and this is part of our farm stocking process. You show us a wrasse please, Rory.
It's taking these out because we're doing the freshwater treatment.
It's a wild ballan wrasse. This is one of our cleaner fish that will live with the salmon, sucking sea lice off the salmon and giving us almost zero sea lice count. There are 5 species of wrasse. This one is particularly beautiful. It's a cuckoo wrasse, a wild fish in Scottish waters, and what a beautiful fish. So what the guys are actually doing is getting a mixed population. So there are 5 species of wrasse, and we're looking for that mix within the pen. And so behind the boat, in the nearest pen, you can see an automatic feeder working away, feeding the salmon. It's a more gradual feed than hand feeding, but you can see that the fish are on the top, they're active, they've got strong appetite, and that appetite is being monitored by an underwater camera observed by an operator in the feed barge. We've got some other ingredients.
So what an experience so far. No doubt you've probably got some questions. If you want to drop them in the comments below, I might be able to get some of them answered and things like that. It's a very controversial subject, I am completely aware of that, and people are going to form their own opinion. But I have enjoyed this experience regardless, and it'll be really interesting to see what comes from it. I can see that they're a great team and they're a good workforce that are supporting obviously the local community. But we're on our way to a second site now, I guess, to see a little bit more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I lied, we're gonna get some lunch first, and we're in Ullapool, but have a look at this. There's that ship that I saw earlier. So we are now heading to the next site, and I'm going to see something to do with the freshwater process, which I think will be quite interesting. How are you doing?
Hiya, I'm Mark, I'm a fish farmer at Wester Ross. Today we've been doing lice treatments on the wellboat, and pretty much we've just had a tour around it, and the captain was kind enough to show us around and show us the bunks, show us the galley, show us where everything happens really.
Everything in the box to the left. Yeah, but that's the bedroom.
So when we're doing the lice treatments, what we do is we have the net here, and we will lift up the net in stages. So we'll have the back edge first, and we will tend to crowd all the fish this way, and then we have a channel left at the end quarter, which will come along one rib, and the 2 black pipes in the background, they come down over a rail and into the water, and basically what they do is they suck up the fish and they go into the boat and they get a fresh water treatment. And then after that, they sit for about 4 hours in there. And then in that time, we go around and lift more nets. And then after that, this is what happens. They come out of this machine.
What an amazing 5 days that I've had. I cannot get over what an incredible nearly a week it's been. You know, the people that I've met, I'd like to say that we'll stay in touch, we've become friends. I 100% want to come back to Scotland. I really hope that you've enjoyed this film. If you have, hit the subscribe button, give it one of those. That really helps it get it out to more people so that they hopefully enjoy it. If you have any questions at all about anything that you've seen on the trip, then let me know. I will try and put as many links and things in the description for the places I've been, the people, contact details, all that sort of thing, if that's what you're looking for. But until the next film, I will see you soon.